Boom! We got Monday Night Football tonight here. Another Print Factory edition, Showdown style. I got my boy Big T in the house here with me. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Of course, if you like these free shows, they won't be free for long. So make sure you get in now. Use the promo code NFL17. It'll get you 17% off for the life of your package. You don't unsubscribe, you get that 17% for the life all the way through. If you're an NBA guy, NBA is coming around the corner maybe a little over a month until the season starts. So make sure you get in now. All right. This is the best time to get in, best value for sure. And this code's going away. I think it's going away tomorrow, honestly, actually. So make sure you use it. NFL 17, 17% off for life. Big T, we've been crushing the bets here. I know you had the Cowboys yesterday. Unfortunately, I did not tail you, and I had the Giants. So you can shame me if you would like. Go ahead.
No, I never shamed JSU because he won $50K last Thursday. FanDuel shipper right out of the gate. I can't make fun of someone that wins $50K in the first showdown of the year. I mean, that's what you do. You finished last year shipping all these showdowns, start this year shipping all the showdowns. I'm out here eating ramen noodles daily. I can't make fun of someone that ships $50K last Thursday.
So I noticed something you did here, and no, you won't make fun of me, I guess, on the show, but I think this was a little poke at me. Do you guys notice he's wearing the Rum Pure? Tell me what color that hat is right now. What color is that hat?
Blue.
Blue. What other team wears blue?
Hey, you're getting into the weeds here. I don't even know what we're talking about.
The Giants wear blue. The Giants wear
blue. The Cowboys
blue.
too, right? Don't they wear blue?
Last night, I know that the team wore blue got stopped. That's all I know. So I think that was
you're like reading into it to try to like pump yourself up. I mean,
it's almost like a subtweet, almost like you're trying to subtweet me on the show here.
You're like the Jordan documentary though, where no one's even trash talking him, and you're still like, oh, I know they were talking about it, just to like motivate yourself to ship again tonight.
No, honestly, seriously though, I was going to be like, I'm not going to let you get in my head. But honestly, as a kid, I used to do shit like that all the time when I play sports.
I love
even if someone wasn't making fun of me, I'd still in my head be like, they called you a midget. They said like they'd make fun of me, like stuff like that. In my head, I would do shit like that to get myself like pumped up. Anytime I'd play anyone like good, I'd need to do that, even if they weren't. A lot of times kids did talk shit, but like, even if they didn't, I would just say they did in my head to get me all mad. And
I mean, you saying that I wore this hat because of the Giants is definitely trying to pump yourself up for the show.
I'm not letting you get in my head, Big T, all right? You're trying to get in my head right now, and I'm not going to let you do it, okay? Leave me alone here. Let's go. Hit the like button. We got over 100 watching already. Let's get that up. Let's pump the like button here. And, Tony, before we get into this actual game, I got to ask you, how was your Sunday? Since, I've kind of talked to you a little bit, but not that much since yesterday. How'd it go?
Yeah, I mean, pretty boring Sunday. I went down to the DraftKings party. They had a party down in Cincinnati, so I went down there with Dad and some other people. A couple people from Run Pure there. That was definitely fun. Some of the people that have been there from the beginning too. But as far as my teams, I think I got like half back or something of what I put in. It was never really had a chance. I was high on Burrow. He looked terrible. I was high on what other game was I was high on one of the other games that just sucked. Lamar Jackson, I thought would do a little bit better yesterday. Although our boy Zay Flowers, I talked him up. He was one of the shining pieces from yesterday. Just absolute. The guy's a stud. He goes for 17 at 4K, and the dude is just a beast. So he was one of the few things good there. Last night, obviously, like the Cowboys, like the defense. I even had the defense in the captain spot a little bit. The problem is I really didn't have a ton of just full-on 5-1 builds with the defense and the captain. So even though this is what's great and bad about Showdown, if you do that, you still got to have a lot of the right stuff to ship Showdown, and just not enough in the right direction last night, but we're back at it. And when it's football season, there's not many off days, honestly. You got Monday, Tuesday, you rest a little bit, but you got other sports. And then before you know it, you're back to Thursday. And this year we're doing the Print Factory Wednesdays. I mean, it's going to be quick weeks. These things are going to fly by.
Yeah, I mean, Monday Night Football, we're doing the Print Factory. I got the Tuesday review show with Schlong and Kay Falick. That'll be tomorrow. And then, like you said, Wednesday Print Factory, which, by the way, last week we did the Print Factory with Holden. It wasn't with ODB because he was away. He should be back this week. But we kind of crushed that show. We gave out a lot of winners. I know the bet side has been crushing it. And if if you guys aren't on the bet side, you have the DFS side. I mean, I would assume the only reason you're not on the bet side is because it's not legal in your state or something like that. Because if you're not, I mean, I don't know what you're doing in here. These guys have been crushing. We added like a premium picks to the bet side. So if you're a bet subscriber, you go into the Discord, you'll see bets, picks, and premium plays. And the difference is the premium plays are like kind of like the group plays between, I think it's Big T, JBC, and Stats. They kind of get their consensus best plays for like the day's slates. Like on Saturday, for instance, they had a mix of college football plays and MMA plays. You know what I mean? So they gave like their favorite that they all like together plays for the slate, right, Tony? So that's kind of something we added here. And I think it's gone real well so far.
Yeah, I like it because, I mean, obviously we don't agree on every game. Sometimes we bet different games like anyone does. I mean, last night we bet different sides and stuff too. But if we have a heavy disagree on something, we just don't put it on there. And we still have our own bets too going up. We're still doing that. All of our staff.
Colorado game was a perfect example, right, Tony? Colorado game was a perfect.
Yeah, Colorado was one of those spots where it was sharp versus square. I put up Colorado early in the week. Obviously, me and JSU talked about it all week. Like, I knew Nebraska's the sharp side. I mean, I've bet for the last 25 years, 25 years basically now. I know a sharp spot, but just seeing the two teams, I had to get Colorado in there, but some other people liked Nebraska, so we didn't put it on the sheet. We can put it on our own side. And I think we give people a good difference maker too, where if you want to tail someone, I know Snyder was like 10-0 right out of the gate, putting picks. Get in there and tail Snyder. His picks are up there. Matty Ice will have hockey ones. Or you got JBC and Stats putting their stuff up. I think they're both – Stats is up like 34 units or something. JBC's up like 16 units since they've been posting. And actually, let me give you an exact number. So since
JBC
we've been posting –
one of the premium plays was Sean Strickland at plus 500.
Plus 500
on the best side. So I mean that
MMA 5-0 with a plus 500 in there. So it's funny too because I did that thread for like 5 straight weeks, got absolutely wrecked all 5 weeks, and then the last 3 weeks since I stopped posting, I don't think we've lost a bet. It's been all winners in there since that. It's funny how that works, but. Just total in September, we're 111 and 81 as a staff, plus 53 units. So everything's tracked on there. That's counting everything. That's counting every single person on there. So plus 53 units in September, which we're only on day 11. So it's been an absolute smash, and it's only going to get better.
By the way, speaking of MMA, since I brought it up, I'll just throw it out there that I got one fight out of every single fight on the card wrong, and it was the final fight, the damn Strickland.
Yeah, and you weren't on a pick sheet like that. You're never picking Strickland on a – or because we don't get the odds when we're picking it on there. So you're not – I mean, you're not picking – even if you like Strickland, you're not picking Strickland at plus 500.
Yeah, so I got 7 of them by method, and I literally only picked the final fight wrong, which, by the way – this has happened to me like multiple weeks. I think it's the 3rd straight week I've like gotten the last fight wrong, but I picked the rest of the fights pretty good.
In all seriousness, like JSU has been the absolute stone since he started doing the MMA show. So many good picks. And on the sheet, everyone that's a member can look at the sheet. He's got to be in 1st or 2nd place. I know Red Cheek Drew was in last. I made fun of him, and since then he's been just wrecking the sheet too. So he might actually be in 1st, but JSU's been crushing.
Have you already accumulated for this past week's?
I know I did the total. I don't think I totaled it yet.
So if you haven't, things could change. But right now, Drew is in 1st. I'm in 3rd. Who was in 2nd? Bobby was in 2nd.
I have not totaled it yet for this week.
But me and Drew have the most by exact method at 56 and 57. since we've been tracking it.
And that was going into this week. So you might actually, you got 7 this week and he got 6. So you guys are dead tied in the method. Looks like he's got you by 2 overall. But I mean, both of your records, I mean, you were 89-48 going in and you went 11-1. So you're exactly 149. So you're hitting it like a 750 rate. And you don't pick off favorites either. There's some dogs in there. Like Mariscal, I think, was a dog.
Yep.
Miranda was a dog for sure. A couple of those in there were dogs without a doubt. So it's not just picking all favorites.
Yep. Yeah. The Pedro line was really close. He might have been the favorite, but like it was close. I mean, yeah, it's not all just, I mean, you see it in MMA all the time. It's not all just, the favorites always win. In MMA, you see it all the time. I mean, Strickland's one good example, but there's a ton of dogs that always win in MMA. It's so tough to predict. So that's just another thing. We're throwing it out there, and we do an MMA show on Saturdays. Mad Lab, me, DC, Drew, and Mad Lab's the best at breaking down fights. And I've noticed a difference in just me as a bettor since I've been doing those shows with Mad Lab, honestly. So I think I'll give him a little praise because I think I've gotten a little better from just doing the shows with Mad Lab. And we do this all the time with each other. I feel like I'm better when I do shows with you on Showdown with NBA. 100%. And I feel like you're the same with me. When we
100%. When I don't do any content, and this is why I love doing this stuff for Run Pure, where if I was just sitting at home, I mean, you know how I am. I wouldn't even look at the slate until today. I wouldn't even look at it until 7 p.m. or something. And then I would do all the work. Whereas today we'll do this show at 2. I already watched some of the Saber Sim show with those guys, which is a great show. If you haven't checked it out, I'll check the cash show out with them guys. I'll look at the projections as they come up. And then at 7 o'clock, when we got the Up to Lock show, Wiley, JBC going on there, I'll watch that. So rather than start at 7, I'll have all that stuff done by 7, and then I'll watch those guys. And it's like that with every sport. Like, I can guarantee you, and I was just talking to somebody about this, but I'm better just being in the Discord. Everybody that's in there talking about bets and stuff, every single it was yesterday at the DK party. I was talking to some of the Run Pure people. I'm like, yeah, even if I wasn't one of the owners of this site, I would sign up for this site just to be in the Discord and talk to everybody. And it's just a luxury to have that many like-minded people in the Discord working together. Obviously, we don't agree on everything. No one does. Me and you don't. We agree on a lot, and we get along as good as you could. But it doesn't mean, I mean, we disagree all the time, and that's what makes it fun. You can work on your own process. And Run Pure's not built just to go in, look at JSU's core, and pop it in there and win. Yeah, you should do that. You should look at what he's got, and you should look at what JBC's got and what Wiley says on the Up to Lock and what AP's got on the heat map stuff. And, man, go use it all, but then make your own decisions. And you could totally disagree with stuff. This is why Run Pure is great, though. You got lots of successful people in the same community, all working for the same stuff. And for the most part, there's a lot of positivity. Sure, at times we get some bad apples in there and stuff, but that doesn't happen as much. And I mean, I love it.
Yeah. I will just say, I mean, come on. I've called him Boss T for years now. What do you expect?
Where did that come from? The CEO of what? What did I say?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know about CEO.
Did I say something like that?
You're just the boss. I just call him. I call him Boss T. I call Wiley El Presidente or whatever we call him.
Presidente, yeah.
Presidente, and I call him Boss T, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, if I get yelled at, it's probably by one of them two. And that's how it goes. Anyone else, I'd fight with, but those 2 guys can yell at me, and I'll be fine. All right, let's get into the actual game talk, even though we could keep talking. Benair said I'm on Strickland. So I know a few people were actually on him too. I know Strickland was talked up, but it's just a difference.
I legitimately thought, and I said this in the Discord, so everyone can't say I didn't. It was the easiest 9,700 fade in the history of MMA. Like, I still don't, like, even after it's over, Strickland totally dominated that fight, scored 90. If it was flipped, Izzy would have won it the same exact way, like just straight jabs, punt. He would have scored like 90. It would not have been close to good enough. Izzy is never scoring 120 in that fight versus Strickland. If he knocks him out in the first round, he's going to score 95. Like, there's no scenario. I wish it was like that every
He
week.
needed that
Usually,
bonus, Tony. He needed that bonus. Like
well,
that's the way he
I
does
could
it.
never see him winning in that first. Yeah, obviously, if he gets the bonus, he's in there. But
And
usually
Strickland's
at
just such a tough
9,700,
dude.
though, like you're fading. Like, I mean, just last week we saw someone score like 180 or something at those high prices. Like,
Yeah.
you just Izzy doesn't threaten at all for any sort of takedowns or anything that accumulates points.
Yeah, exactly. And I said it actually on the show that I was just lower on the fight for DFS in general. Now, obviously, if you played Sean Strickland,
Well, the
that
flip
was a
side
good
though was he was
good play.
6,500.
Yeah,
was the
that's
flip
that's the
side.
difference. But like
Yeah.
my two dogs that I was like all in on, Mariscal and Miranda, both won.
Notice
And I'm
how
pretty sure
JSU, two more shippers. He drops those in there. Two more dog shippers.
I have to get
All
Mad Lab too
JSU
because
does is
Mad Lab.
brag. He's a bragger.
I had to. I know because I bet Mad Lab. Mad Lab had one sad, I had the other side, and he
I know I
texted
got a
me.
text from JSU after one of them. He's like, "That's how you pick dogs, baby."
Mad Lab was not happy though because he had the other side.
He had the other side.
And dude's elbow like friggin' snapped in half.
He got to put some pubes up there this week?
Well, I don't know if I think he canceled out my pubes bet. So
I thought you
he
went
doesn't
on
have
there
to
with
do
something already going though.
Well, I think the next bet we do will be for the pubes. I'm telling you though, I don't have much to work with here. So he told me though that's why you have ass hair. So I was like, okay, all right. Either way,
that's tough scene there.
That's definitely a tough scene, but that's Mad Lab for you. You gotta love them. CB says, Tony, I'm not a member, too expensive. LOL. Wish I knew how to create a stats algorithm. Well, CB, I don't know if I can help you with the stats algorithm. Hopefully, though, listening to this show, maybe we can help you with some winners, and maybe you win in Showdown tonight, and then maybe you have the money to sign up and get a membership here. But at least
I know we don't know how to do no stat algorithm either, DB or CB or who was it? CB.
We know how to we know how to get on the workbench, Tony. We don't really know.
I got an algorithm that gets that done for me. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it's called Be Married. It's called Be Married. But yeah, hopefully just hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Hope you enjoy the free content. And yeah, these shows, they won't always be free. So that's why I'm telling people now, use that code NFL17, get 17% off for life. Hopefully we can help some people win and get in that Discord. If you join, you got to make sure you get in that Discord because all the news, all the smart people we got in there, throwing out sharp things. I mean, Benair's in the Discord right now. I see him in chat, and he's telling me to look in Discord. So out of the optimal Showdown lineups for each team, there are 33 games, and he posted like the percentages for kickers, defenses, running backs, 0 running backs, 2 running backs. So there's little nuggets in here, the Discord from members, sharp members too, that know what they're doing, that have been playing forever. And Tony, that is the value of the Discord. It's not just us. It's not just JBC he's been a professional bettor for 10 plus years. Stats, same thing, and they crush at DFS. Like it's members too who provide value, just sharp guys.
Yeah, so many members crushing there. Redmond being the top of the list. The dude's won like $250,000, if not more, maybe even more than $250,000, 300K in the last month. So many sharp people in there. And I mean, I couldn't stand by our Discord more. Cornelius says, post the Discord link. You got to be a member to get it. But once you sign up, it's in the corner of the website. Go to account, go to Discord, or there's actually just a link right in the middle of the page that says Discord. It'll get you all squared away. You just got to get your account connected on the website. So I wish we could just have everyone in there, but that's a big part of the premium.
If you go to your account, when you signed in, just click Discord and connect or whatever.
Copy link address. I'll see if this works. This might not work. Let's see. That might work. I don't know. So I don't know if that link will work or not. I tried to post it in there. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. If not, go to our website. It'll have it on there.
Clearly, we don't have no stat algorithm.
Yeah, no stat algorithm going on here. I don't know if the link will work, but we'll see.
Tony's like, here's the link. I hope it works for you. Good luck. But yeah, if you have any issues though with anything, you can hit up Run Pure Sports Twitter account. You can hit us up, info at Run Pure Sports, and they'll be able to help you as well, or one of us on Twitter, and we'll get you guys squared away if you're looking to be in the Discord. But all right, Tony, that's that. Let's get into this game here, where we got the Bills and the Jets here. Jets at home. 2 points is the spread here. Obviously, Bills favored, but what are we thinking for this game from a betting side to start?
A very interesting game for me. I don't have a ton of conviction like last night where I had some conviction. I don't know. Like my mind says I want the Jets just at home, all the new thing, Hard Knocks, Rodgers, the whole dynamic of everything with the Jets. The Bills finished last year not being as good. But then the flip side to me is like Rodgers just didn't seem very good. Hard Knocks is always going to make teams look better than they actually are. I mean, we've seen it so many times. Still a new quarterback going to the new team. Buffalo's been around a little bit, a lot of the same weapons. So going back and forth, definitely no conviction, but I think I'm starting to lean more Buffalo side just because the times they've played together. For something tells me the Jets are going to come out and just lay a stinker like the Giants did last night. That's what my gut says right now. And I do think I like the under the best too. I should have led with that where I mean, the total's 44 and 45 at DraftKings, right? Actually, that's a good number. If you ever want to check perfect numbers, we got them on the website now. If you go to Run Pure, I think this is free even. If you go to odds, it'll pull up the unabated live odds screen, which I love for stuff like this. Because right now, if I like the under, the total's 44.5 basically everywhere. DraftKings has 45 posted. So that doesn't seem like that big a deal. But as it's legal in your state and stuff, if you can just that easily click that and get an extra half point, if that falls 45 tonight and you get a push instead of a loss, that over the course of an entire year, I mean, you're going to save who knows how many units. So pull it up on the website. Let's see if I can. I'll try.
So wait, what is DraftKings right now? 45 right now?
45 right. 44.5 everywhere else.
45.5.
Where?
FanDuel was 45.5.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. Mine says 44.5, but it could be. Is it?
Oh, that got bet down then in the last 2 hours because I bet it.
Pull it up real quick. Let's test unabated. Let's see if it's updated.
All right. So right now, yeah. So that line has moved a point since I went to lunch at 11:30. Yeah, 11:30-ish, 12 o'clock. I looked. That was 45.5. That's when I got in on the under.
Yeah, I mean, and that just shows you, like, lock that 45 in right now. I'm going to put it up on the bet sheet right now because here's this screen too. Let's see if this works. I posted the odds screen in there too. I don't know. We'll see if that works for people. But yeah, I mean, I think it's the best odds screen you could see on our site. It's nice and clean, straight across. You see all the odds. I mean, it looks perfect to me. But we'll see if it works for other people.
Andrew, I'm trying to. I try to get ready for when I maybe will make it out to Kentucky at some point soon. So you gotta start eating lunch to get ready for Tony because Tony goes out to lunch every friggin' day. So I gotta get my body ready to eat lunch at a certain time every day. So that's what it is.
You didn't hear about me picking. I had to go pick the dude up from his house because of his surgery. He said, I can't go to lunch and I can't drive for a few weeks. I said, well, you just tell me when, I'll come pick you up. And then after I got him, we got another text, Pooh from work. Oh, I don't have a car. I went and picked Pooh up. I picked up all these guys for lunch today. Like just went and scooped the whole family up.
You had a family full of meows.
Yeah, driving around. Full carpool to lunch today.
Uncle Terry. Love Uncle Terry. I hope Uncle Terry's feeling better. His shoulder surgery went well. He's alive, right, Tony? He's alive.
He made it through. He did pull through.
All right, my man. Glad he pulled through. I sent him a text, Tony. I sent him a text. I just wanted to make sure he was doing okay. So I already knew he pulled through, but it's good to hear, you picked him up and did something nice. I hope you paid, too. Did they make you pay? Because that'd be the ultimate.
No, actually, Uncle T did buy.
Wow. Okay. There you go. All right.
The carpool driver did not have to pay. I'll clarify.
So I'm back and forth on this game right now because I think both these teams are very close. I probably would lean the Bills side. The best look though is definitely the under. I'm with you on the under. We've been on unders pretty much all week. The first week we talked about it on the Print Factory. We liked a lot of spots with unders. I think the one spot that we liked over on was the Packers game, which obviously hit. And to me, this feels like it. You got two defenses that are both good to very good because I think the Jets defense is going to be really, really good. Salah's always got those guys ready to go. And I think the Bills defense is solid too. So you get that, and then you get Aaron Rodgers' first game, Jets. I'm sure he's going to be hyped. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit more pressure just game one in New York, even though Rodgers is a veteran. I get all that stuff, but I think it just, there's some learning, right? There's some learning when you're with a new team and all new players. I know Alan Lazard's with them, but Garrett Wilson, he's going to be trying to get the ball to him and all of his new weapons like Dalvin. There's a little learning curve that goes along there. So I probably lean the Bills side if you made me pick a side, for sure. But outside of betting, because we talked about that, we like the under. We like maybe the lean to the Bills, but I think it's close. What are we doing here for DFS? Because we like less points. So what are we thinking with the quarterbacks to start off, like in the captain, Tony? What are you doing with those guys?
Yeah, I mean, in the captain, I have a hard time in these games without points. So I think it's going to be low scoring. So quarterbacks like Rodgers, you have to put two guys with them. I probably won't go there tonight. Josh Allen obviously can run, but then you got to factor he's going to be so high owned in these spots, especially because as we go through the people in this game and the projections, you got some really cheap guys that are playable at least to where you can pop them in there and get points and stuff. So Josh Allen, I mean, just taking a guess, I mean, I think he'll be 40% captain or something like that and 85, 90% overall. So obviously you can play him, but I think I'd be under, at least that's my plan right now, unless I start liking some cheaper guys, which means that pushes me down to the receivers like Diggs. I just can't do it tonight with Sauce on the other side. Garrett Wilson, though, stud. I think we talked a little earlier. We both agree on him. I definitely want him in the captain. James Cook, I mean, I'm just a little bit worried about him and his volume. Same with Dalvin Cook. You got these combo guys. I mean, Dalvin Cook, Breece Hall, both about 8K. They're going to split the work. I see no way they don't split the work. So you're going to have to get a little lucky there. And then on the other side, you got James Cook and Damian Harris. The football side of me, the watch the game type guy, I think it's Damian Harris, but I know a lot of other people disagree completely. I just have seen it. It reminds me a lot of some of these teams yesterday that played where we see it all year, and we, for some reason, in Detroit even, the exact same way as last year. They don't want James Cook to be a full-time guy. So in my head, I think Damian Harris will be one of the least owned people, and it's a low-scoring game on top of it, in my opinion. So I actually think he's a somewhat sneaky captain for me, where if he scores 2-3 touchdowns, you just vulture everyone in the game and no one's going to own him. I mean, he's going to be 2% captain or something. So even if I play 10% captain, I'm way above the field. I'm trying to look at some of these other guys cheaper. I don't usually like cheap captains. I mean, you could put like a Hardman or somebody in there just because all it takes is one play for him to go to the house. But that's not really my style in Showdown. I like good guys that have upside. And if that means I have to play a couple kickers, if that means stuff like that, I'm more willing to do that than play a cheap guy to get all the studs in, especially when it's a low-scoring game. Like if I thought this game was going to be in the 60s or something, then you're more willing to take a chance on some of these cheap guys just because you need the studs. I mean, obviously I want to play Josh Allen, but I don't have to have him in the captain. Rodgers, I don't think I have to have Rodgers. I mean, there's plenty of paths where Rodgers doesn't hit the optimal. I mean, we just said it. They got 2 running backs. They got a lot of things they can do. The defense could score like last night. I was all over Dallas. The problem with playing like a bunch of Dak, though, 2 defensive scores, Pollard scores. You got no chance. He did nothing wrong, but he can't score.
There's just no points for him, Tony.
Yeah,
there's just
they're
no
not going
points
to keep
for him
throwing.
Yeah,
it would be stupid.
So one thing I will say, back to your Damian Harris point, I think what happens is I think James Cook is the guy, but I think James Cook also gets pulled in the red zone.
Do you think they're going to like just right away he's going to get 3 down work?
No, I think they're going to pull him for like short yardage.
But
yardage.
Like right away, though, he's in like first, second down. If it's
I do. I think he's first, second down.
If it's like 3rd and 8, he stays in there.
I do think that. Now, I think that they could have used Nyheim Hines to spell him on 3rd and 8, but he's out, obviously. He had the bad injury, and he's out the season. So, yeah, I think in short yardage, they bring in Damian Harris. And then in the goal line, I think they bring in Damian Harris. So you still have ways in which Damian Harris can get there regardless. If you see him, though, getting first and second down work, then he's a better play, obviously, at no ownership. I think it's going to be really tough, though, for them to run on this Jets defense. Quinnen Williams is a beast inside. This dude is one of the best interior defensive linemen there is. And that I think it's going to be tough. So I think the game plan is going to be Josh Allen using his legs. They're going to have more design runs, honestly, for him. And I also think that they're going to try and use James Cook more as a pass catcher, utilize him as opposed to Stephon Diggs, where they like to use Diggs as like the quick hitter. Josh Allen right away just throws it to him and he gets like 7-8. Instead of attacking Sauce, they're going to use Cook, and it's going to be more dump offs for Cook. So I think Cook just fits the game plan for this game better than Damian Harris, in my opinion. So I'm not as high on Damian Harris. And I hate that Josh Allen will just steal the goal line scores constantly with goal line backs. That's the other thing that drives me nuts.
This is what I'm trying to sell you on, though. As we do this shows this year,
sell me.
Like, just because you don't like Damian Harris, he's just not going to be owned, where you just don't need much. Like,
so what do I need from Damian Harris? Like, in a low-scoring game, what do I –
points?
Yeah, what do I need?
I mean, you just need the 2-touchdown game where he's inside the 10.
2 touchdowns?
Huh?
I need 2 touchdowns from him?
Well, yeah, he's not going to get like 150 yards on the Jets.
So you just made my point why I don't like him.
Yeah, but he's not owned. No one likes him. That's what I'm trying to sell you on. Like, everyone's saying the same thing you are. That's what makes him more of a, like, you don't have to play 50. Like, you just play 15% Damian Harris and you got enough. 20%.
So what's his ownership, Tony? What's
his ownership? It's going to be like 10%. I don't see how anyone plays him.
10% owned.
Like, let me run the optimizer real quick.
Yeah, run the optimizer, because I want to know. First of all, I
don't see how he can be owned, though, at that price.
What's a baseline? What do we have him at RPS? What's RPS projecting him at right now? 7, 6, 5? It's got to be somewhere around there.
I'm asleep at the wheel with my stuff up here. Let me pull some stuff up.
Yeah, that's right. So I get what Tony's saying. Tony's saying from the game theory of it's if you're playing 150 and a guy's going to be lower owned, you just take that chance in Showdown, because what if he gets the 2 touchdowns? What if Josh Allen doesn't steal the touchdowns at the goal line and he actually gets both of them and he's nutted and no one has him at 10%? And I kind of understand it.
I mean, he's not any different than Singletary was. Like, and he had games where he's different.
Singletary could score in different ways. Singletary could catch the ball. He could, Damian Harris is. I mean, maybe they could throw the ball to Damian Harris. You're probably right, though. If I played like the field even at 10%, it's probably not. I'm gonna
see. I'm running it right now. We'll see what we get in this 150, because I just don't see how he can be owned with this 200 guy that's going to get a lot of ownership.
So that was last night.
So Redmond brings up a good example, and I've talked about this a ton while this is running. But my biggest Showdown hit ever was 200 or maybe even 300K.
I thought it was 500K with Jamal Williams over.
It wasn't 500. That's over. You're overselling me now. It was like
no. I thought
it was 250 in the big one, I think, and then like 50 plus and some change from the other. So it's probably like 300. But It was because I played Jamal Williams, the backup running back, over Aaron Rodgers. And it was based on my script, though, that I thought the Niners would kill the Packers. And I knew Jamal Williams would come in when the game was out of hand because he was obviously behind Aaron Jones. And it was exactly how it went. And some of our biggest showdown hits, the basketball that we talked about the one time where we said play 2 scrubs, and people always make fun of this on the outside, but when you call the exact script and you give a reason for it, and then it happens, and then you solo ship, I don't see how anyone could make fun of that because you're having an actual take. And yeah, according to
so the problem is it's game theory logic over like their numbers, and they can't like they
and
can't
the numbers
like
will never say to play Jamal Williams over Aaron Rodgers.
But they can't handle the theory thought process. They're just like, no, that's wrong. But when we get it right, it's just lucky. It's just we had a lucky gap.
It's just lucky when it goes right. And like yesterday, guy solo ships yesterday with Cowboys kicker over Dak. And I don't know what the reasoning would be, but if you said like it was going to go like that, exactly what I just said 5 minutes ago, 2 defensive scores, Pollard scores, Dak's not going to throw anymore. So the kicker could easily outscore. And usually how you get a build like that is to run the optimizer, obviously, and you just randomly somehow get it. But it's not a bad thing. And we've talked a lot on these showdown shows about it. If you play 1 or 2 teams tonight on DraftKings or FanDuel where it's $9 or $15, play one team where it's as solid as you can get. Whatever you think the best is. Run the optimal, play it as safe as you can, whatever you think the best build is. And then do another one where you pivot off that build with 2 lower pieces, 1 lower piece even sometimes. If you go from Dak, like tonight, if you go from Aaron Rodgers to the Jets kicker or something and keep the rest of the team the same, that's how you solo ship for $9. And it's easy to talk about playing 150 teams, but 95% of the people watching this show play 1 to 5 teams. So you can't just go in there and just play the optimal team with all 5 of those, or you're never gonna get anywhere. But take some chances. And I know we use the same analogy all the time on these. Pretend you're going to the dinner and a movie. You're going to spend $50 at least on that. It's entertainment, isn't it? Like for a lot of people, we do it for a living, but a lot of people do it for entertainment. And if it's for entertainment, what's wrong with having a little fun? And everyone makes fun of Siege, and I'm not saying to do this, but he gets made fun of for the backup QB thing. Who knows what happened? Just take some chances is my point when you're playing 1 or 2 teams.
Yeah, when you're playing 1 or 2 teams, you definitely want one of those teams to be very unique. That's the point behind it. Because you're trying to you have one team, you're trying to win all the money.
Yeah, I honestly think 2 teams is the best. For people that don't want to play 2. Play 1 rock solid. Play 2 where you're taking a chance on.
So that honestly, Tony, that's how I started playing DFS. I started playing DFS. I played 2 lineups and everything. I just played 2 teams, and it was kind of the same style. I just wanted to have one team that I thought was like the best, and then one like weird team that was just so unique and so different. And then I started winning slowly in NBA, and I was like, oh, okay. And then it just kind of stuck with me as like a process, like play 2 to 3 teams. Like make 1 to 2 solid, the best teams, I think, and then 1 kind of off the beaten path a little bit. And, it just kind of worked. And so it stuck with my style. But I honestly do think it's the best for someone who's just a normal, just guy or girl who's just looking to, have a little entertainment fun at night, get away from their job or, kids, family or whatever for just like an hour or 2 while they're watching sports. That's like the best way to do it. And you get a ton of entertainment, and things aren't going to go right all the time, but all you need is for them to go right once in this scenario.
Right.
And you're a winner. You know what I mean? Like Trevor Bryant won $500K. He just needed that one time. It literally, it might be 1 out of 100, but when it happens, you're minted. And that's all you want right there. So I think that's the best way to play it if you're doing that for sure. But all right, Tony, as we get into the captains, I know you ran the optimal on Damian Harris. What did he pop up in?
So first of all, I'll just talk about what comes up. I mean, you got captains basically all Josh Allen, which I knew. Like Josh Allen, if you just run it without any rules and without any minimums, maximum, you just run it, you're going to get a ton of Josh Allen, obviously. Like it just makes too much sense. So we knew we were going to get that. You can argue which way to go with that. As far as flex, Damian Harris he's projected like 12% around the industry, and I literally get 1% running the optimizer. Like no one's going to play him. So
how much did you get?
1%. That's just me running it, which means
that's even lower than I thought.
So if he's projected 12 and he comes 1, I think you can meet in the middle and project him like 8% owned or something.
Okay.
That's what I would give him. But point being, you can play 15% Damian Harris and cap it at that. Set maximum 15%, get 15, and see some of the other guys too, just low own that like stick out to me. And these are contrarian guys that I think could make a difference. McCole Hardman, like we talked about, no one's going to play him. And yeah, he's probably not a great play, but with him in Showdown, all it freaking takes is one where he catches it and he's gone and he's in the winner. Another guy down here, Breece Hall. He's 8,200. Everyone knows Cook. Everyone knows the system. No one's going to play Breece Hall at 8,200 with this projection. He's projected 5% in this optimizer. They say he's going to be like 20% projected. I think it'll be way lower based on this.
I think it's like 10 to 12, Tony.
Yeah.
I don't think it hits 20.
And that's crazy for him because he's got upside too, which we've seen. So that's kind of a couple things that stick out. Some super high-owned guys, Rodgers, Diggs, the 200 guy, Hardy, Garrett Wilson, the usual suspects up top.
So one thing that I looked at, and I'm going to do for sure in the opto tonight when I run my 150 is I'm going to project Diggs under
Who's this
Garrett
guy
Wilson.
making fun of me right here? I mean, Mad Lab. I mean, he's making fun. Who was that fight that you owned him on?
Mariscal. My boy
owned you, Mad Lab?
My boy Chepe. Don't get Mad Lab started because he was not happy when we were texting.
This guy's correct. Ain't a razor. I haven't used a razor. Well, I've used a razor on other parts, just not my face. But I haven't used a razor on my face in a long time. I got one of those electric things.
I'm sure the wife appreciates it, the razor use for sure. So that's all that matters in the end. But yeah, I mean,
we need a Mad Lab on it. Why is it Mad Lab needs to get on a Showdown show with us?
Yeah, we're gonna get Mad Lab on a Showdown
football.
Show. I need him saying football with the helmet on the show.
Where's he at?
Right? We need that. We need that for a show. So we got to get Mad Lab on here. We'll talk him into it, Tony. We'll get him on a text thread after, and we'll talk him into one of these shows here. But see, he said anytime. Look at that. We already got a confirmation here. Right now. Let's go, Mad Lab. Get your coffee, put your helmet on, jump on in, buddy. But back to my rules here for this game at the top. I want to be more Garrett Wilson than Diggs. And right now I'm looking at the projections that a lot I'm seeing is Diggs over Wilson. So that's going to be one stand is I'm going to under project Diggs, which people won't do because they're just too afraid of those like stud skill position guys going nuclear. It's like impossible for them to do is like under project Diggs. They're probably going to look at his projection, Tony, honestly, and be like, that's kind of low as is and just kind of leave it. Whereas I'm going to lower it even more, and I'm going to raise Garrett Wilson. So that's going to be my first stand. I'm going to probably lower like maybe Aaron Rodgers a tad too, maybe Josh Allen even a tad, because I think there's not going to be a ton of touchdowns. I could see a guy like Garrett Wilson, a McCole Hardman. I could see them getting there on just straight volume even, Tony, where it's like an 8-catch, 100-yard game, and that's on the winner. Because there's not as many touchdowns scored, just in general. So
yeah, and Josh Allen's interesting because everyone's going to play him in the captain. So yeah, I think you gain a tiny bit of edge just playing him in the flex. And I mean, there's virtually no path where he's not in the winner, at least from what I can see, unless it's just a total stinker of a game. But I don't think you lose that much under projecting him, like you're saying, because I don't love Diggs either. It's just one of those games with projections where I would probably bet the under. Like just looking on all the standard projections we have, I would bet the under on almost all of the studs. I mean, just looking, you got Josh Allen mid-20s. I would probably take under if I had to bet. Diggs at like 17, 18. I'd take the under. Garrett Wilson would be one of the only ones that I think we both love. But even him, he's projected for good. We think it's a low-scoring game. I mean, if he gets 17, I think that's a decent number for him. So Rodgers, I like under on him as well. And then you got all the guys that are projected very similarly in that mid-range.
Yeah, so guys I do think could hit the over. You talked about one, McCole Hardman, because all it takes is one. I put McCole. I'll give you the perfect example. McCole Hardman for the Jets is MVS for the Packers of years past. What is he going to do? He's going to run those deep routes, those seam routes, straight up the middle. Aaron Rodgers is going to look. If he's open, he's going to hit him. This is what he does. He always needs that guy down the middle, running those go routes straight. He's going to be like the MVS. And then you'll have Garrett Wilson kind of doing a little bit of everything. Allen Lazard, more like the short and intermediate guy as well. So that's what I think McCole Hardman is. So for this format, I do think he's an interesting guy to take an over stance on. The other guy I kind of like is Dalton Kincaid, Tony, who I think could play more in the slot. I think they're going to struggle on the outside. So I think someone like Kincaid could be the sneaky one where you maybe over project someone like him and hope this is a perfect matchup to say, if it's maybe not Diggs, maybe it's not Gabe Davis on the outside. Well, maybe it is, instead of Hardy, it's Kincaid. And it's Kincaid or James Cook receptions that kind of get it done for Buffalo. And that's a path. So for me, I kind of like Dalton Kincaid as a little bit of a sneaky play to kind of bump up in your optimizer. And I'm seeing kind of a lower projection on him right now. So I think that's because everyone doesn't know, do they use Hardy? Do they use Sherfield a little bit in the slot? I think they're going to mix it up. I think it's just going to be, it's kind of tough to know for sure. So what do you think there of some of those like mid-tier, to cheap guys like Kincaid, Dawson Knox, anyone like that?
I love the tight ends. I mean, Dalton Kincaid was a beast in college, just an absolute beast. I don't see how he doesn't end up good with Josh Allen at quarterback in this system, where Dawson Knox has been good too. And I like Dawson Knox, but Dawson Knox, they're projected similarly. Kincaid is higher priced. I like Kincaid more, but I like both. And honestly, most of my builds, I want one of these guys. I won't set a rule, but I do want to be over on both of these guys. They're both going to be 15, 20% owned. I want to be 30 to 40% on these guys. So maybe 4 out of 5 builds I make, I want one of these guys in there. And I don't think you need to play them together, but you could if you wanted. Just if it's a low-scoring game and they both catch a touchdown or something, I could be on that. And honestly, I don't hate I have the tight ends up right now, so I like Conklin and Uzomah a decent amount too, where CJ Uzomah is only 800 and he's got a projection of like 4. He's been involved in the offense. We've seen him in the past be decent. I think that price tag with everyone playing that other dude at 200, I think you could pivot up for another 600 and play Uzomah. And I wouldn't be stunned at all if he's the guy that catches a touchdown. We've seen it for 2 years now. These backup and third string tight ends are good in Showdown. And I don't know what the reason for that is. It's probably just luck and small variance, but it's what's happened, and these prices just work. And you take it one step further. So I like all 4 tight ends. You go to the kickers. I love both kickers, 4,200. I always love Greg the Leg. Like, the dude hits bombs, and that's what we want from kickers. Yeah, he might not be the most
Bass
accurate.
Hit bombs too?
I think they both are very good kickers. And if we like low scoring, I can see it coming right now. Like you're turning the game. They march down. They get to the 35, 52-yarder. Bang it right through to start the game. All of a sudden, your kicker's got 5 points. I love both of these kickers. So that's the good part about this game, and why I was talking about my roster construction at the beginning. You got 4 tight ends that are priced fairly, 2 kickers that are priced fairly. The defenses are where so last night we all saw Dallas crush. Rubio went on there, recommended Dallas D. After everyone saw that, I just want to be under on D's tonight. I think that'll be one, even though I like under. I do. I just don't see the D's. I think it's because of how much I like the other mid-range guys. Like, I like all the tight ends better. I like the kickers better. I won't full fade the D's just because I don't think you have to. Kind of like what I told you about Damian Harris. If they're projected say the Bills are 20, the Jets are 15. Maybe I play 5% of both of them in my 150.
It's
they will
funny. I
never
kind of
be
like
on my
the
main
Jets
team.
more than the Bills if I had to
Who?
pick one defense.
Yeah, I mean, I do too. And Josh Allen
Yeah.
likes to turn the ball over. He's great, but
Correct.
he likes to turn the ball over. So
Yep.
I agree with you. And you just don't need that to be that crazy. And that's one thing I'm trying to get better in my 150 this year is just spacing out just a little bit more with more uniques. I always did one or two uniques. I think I'll pop way more this year just to get a little bit more spread.
Think about it too. Like, who's a better Josh Allen is unbelievable. He's definitely the better quarterback, but Aaron Rodgers is the better game manager. Like, Josh Allen's going to take more chances. He's like, that's why he turns the ball over a little bit. He takes more chances. Aaron Rodgers, like the safe guy, you know what I mean? He knows how to call a game. He's been doing it in Green Bay like his whole career, pretty much just doing what he wants. The guy knows what he's doing. He knows how to milk the clock when he wants to milk the clock, when he gets a lead. And another reason why I like the under too, like that good defenses. Aaron Rodgers knows how to milk a clock. He's smart with the ball. Like, these are all things that you kind of got to think about when you're trying to build in game theory and stuff. So, yeah, if I had to pick a D to be over on, it would definitely be the Jets. I'll probably be at the field with the Jets, and I'll probably be under on the Bills D. So I'm kind of with you on the defenses, like the kickers more. CW says Cobb touchdown. I mean, that's a narrative, but I don't
always
mind the
Rodgers.
narrative.
He's always got a chance. So I gave an example on the Wood yesterday, on the Morning Wood, Sunday morning, if you didn't watch it. But always, Larry Fitzgerald to start the year would crush for 5 straight weeks, and then he was just old. He would get tired, and then he would wear off. Randall Cobb, granted, I haven't thought he's been good for 4 years, but Rodgers brought him in. He loves Randall Cobb. He loves him, and he's got fresh legs, and he's 3,400. I think Randall Cobb's a great play tonight. I really do. A month from now, 2 months from now, I will tell you no way to play Randall Cobb. No way. But right now, at 3,400 in his first game, couldn't you just see Rodgers throwing 2 touchdowns to him tonight? I could.
Yeah, I mean, on third down, who do you think's coming in the game, by the way? Third downs, Randall Cobb is going to be in the game.
And he's not going to get like 10 catches or something. We're not saying that, but he could get 5 catches for 60 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I mean, he could easily get a touchdown. It would not shock me at all, for sure. I do think he's going to play.
I'm going to bet him to get a touchdown. Like, it's got to be.
What are those odds? What are those odds?
Without literally even looking at all, I'd say
plus 400,
6 to 1 or something.
Plus 600.
I have no idea. So someone could totally make fun of me with that. That was totally a guess.
I mean, you got to be close. I'm going to look right now just because I think it's got to be close to that, honestly.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was a lot of things, but.
And I really don't hate the bet, though, because I really do think on third downs, he's going to play. Like, on passing downs, like third downs, he's coming into the
and
game,
goal line work. Like, when they're inside that 10, he's going to play too.
Yeah, so touchdown line for him is Randall Cobb, plus 500 on FanDuel. Could be different on DraftKings, but you were close. I mean, you were close.
I'll take that as a guess because that could have been like way off. So I'll take it within 100 there.
Yeah, I mean, again, Phil, like Rodgers loves Lazard. This is the problem, though. Like, yeah, these are all Aaron Rodgers guys, like except for like McCole. You know, he wants to like get Garrett Wilson the ball. Like, that's for sure. Garrett Wilson's like the main guy there. He wants to make sure he's happy. The Allen Lazard and Cobb are his boys. He always loves the tight ends at the goal line. No one's better at like that play action drag where he keeps the ball and it's kind of like hard to tell at first. And he kind of like hides it in his hip and then he pulls it out of nowhere and just kind of flicks it. And that's always like a tight end little like leak out drag that he hits people on. He does it all the time. He's literally one of the best at it. And he has good angles to like get them the ball where someone's running at him and he can still find a way to fling it out and they score on it. So like, I like the tight end look that Tony was given too. I think tight ends on both sides are good plays. I'm honestly lower on the outside receivers, Tony, like just in general. The outside receivers I'm a little lower on, except for Wilson. The tight ends I'm higher on. The kickers we're both higher on. I think we're in kind of lockstep with, you know, how we see the game
like
going.
Lazard probably more than you two.
You might.
I feel pretty good about it. I don't know with Rodgers. I just always, in my head, even the end of last year, he loves Lazard. So, like, these guys he has a relationship with, I give a little bit of a bump. So, like, if he's projected 9 or 10, I'd project him like 12 or something. Not crazy.
The
Like, I
problem
don't
is
love
if
him.
we're under projecting Aaron Rodgers, we like the tight ends. We're bumping Garrett Wilson a little bit. There might just not be a lot going around. They got 2 running backs.
They got a
I
lot
could
of pieces.
I could see it if we like the over in this game, right? But we don't. We like the under.
Yeah.
So that's the other
I
thing.
mean, you bring up a good point for sure. Where he's got 4 receivers that are decent, 2 tight ends, and 2 running backs. So,
and I want to
you're
make my
talking
point
8
clear.
weapons.
My point is you can't like all of them. Is my point pretty much. Like you can't over project Garrett Wilson if you like the under. You can't over project Garrett Wilson. You can't over project Alan Lazard and the tight ends and the kickers, right? Because then they're stalling out and the kickers are getting it. So that's the key. You got to think about that a little. I'm fine if you like Lazard more. That's fine with me. Bump Lazard, but I would not be bumping all of them. Is my point.
Yeah, Uzama, our boy NY Jet says they've been buddies. I even saw the interview where they're hanging out all the time. And the key part with Uzama, though, I'm telling you, he's 800, and everyone's going to play the 200 guy who,
Hardy.
What's his name?
Hardy,
yeah. Who I'm pretty good with the college guys. I don't remember this guy. So who is
Deonta Hardy is his name.
I usually always know, but with this one, that's because who'd he play with? Signed with New Orleans and this guy's a bum.
I feel no like wonder you know who this guy is.
I thought he was a rookie, but he was undrafted in 2019 by the Saints.
Hasn't he played with the Saints a little bit, like on special teams and stuff? Like, isn't he like a special teams type guy?
His name is this right, Redmond? His name he changed his name from Harris to Hardy. This is Deontay Harris. Oh, baby, I'm excited then.
Yeah,
I like that
guy. That's who I thought it was. I just didn't even the name change didn't click with me because it was still an H. So that's who I thought it was. Yeah, so we know who he is.
Well, I like him now. I like him way more than I did a minute ago. I like him. He's a burner. Taysom would hit this guy deep all the time. Yes, this guy's a burner.
That's exactly who he is, Tony. The Taysom package. That was the guy.
So it almost validates my point even more that I was trying to make, though, where to pivot off this guy up to 800 Uzama is a really good pivot in tournaments because Hardy is going to – why did he change his name? But Hardy's going to be very high owned.
I mean, if he's not a kick returner, I'd be stunned if he doesn't return something.
He'll return kicks.
Like, he was definitely – that's what he did when he was – with the Saints.
I love this guy. I always liked him in New Orleans.
Yeah, you loved it. That was the funny part. So I wasn't even gonna say this like out loud, but you love this guy. I knew you did because he was the Taysom dude.
Yeah.
And I knew you knew it, but
I always played him in Showdown too.
It was like a game strategy thing where you were like, everyone's gonna play him. So
I didn't know. I even admitted it going in. I'm like, because I usually know like all the players from watching college, NFL. I didn't know who it was. I had no idea that name. I was like, who is it?
It's funny. The name change didn't even click with me. I just assumed that was him from New Orleans. Yeah. Like I was just assuming it.
I love it. I'm excited now.
Yeah, good call. Name change season. Who knows, Tony? Maybe
his stepfather's name. It says. Makes sense.
I mean, he beat out. I guess he beat out Shakir for the inside spot. So he's obviously looking decent. For them. So yeah, we'll see. So. Any other? We talked about all the captain plays pretty much. Tony, who would you say, like, if you had to give like 2 main captain plays right now, who do you think you'd be like higher on?
Definitely. Hold on, let me pull it back up. I had Buffalo clicked. Definitely, Garrett Wilson would be one of my favorites without a doubt going into tonight. And the next one, he's like definitely my number 1. My number 2. I honestly think could be Dalton Kincaid type or Dawson Knox in that tight end range, or even Uzama. I said I didn't want a cheap captain, but I really think Uzama is going to be 3% owned captain or something, where there's a path for Uzama to catch 2 touchdowns. And by doing it real quick, let me put it in the build real quick. So if you play Uzama. It lets you play Josh Allen, Rodgers, Garrett Wilson, and just say Diggs. We don't like Diggs, but Just by doing that, you get both quarterbacks, both top receivers, and 6,600 left, which leaves you with Lazard, Damian Harris, Dalton Kincaid, Conklin, Knox, everybody. And I really like that path. So I said I don't like cheap captains, but now that I know who Harris is, Uzama, I know can catch touchdowns, or the tight ends. I don't mind that mid-range. Honestly, I don't see myself going up top besides Garrett Wilson. Josh Allen is obviously I'll have some Josh Allen in my 150. I'm not crazy. I'm not going to be dead when the dude goes for 35. But in my 150, I'm going to be lower. I'm going to be lower on I'm not going to have any Rodgers, honestly. I don't think. If I do, it won't be many. I don't like Diggs. I don't like the running backs for the captain tonight because there's 4 of them. I just the mid-range and Garrett Wilson is kind of where I'm at. And if I was picking any of the running backs to captain, it would definitely be Breece Hall, where I think he has upside. I'm not convinced any of the other 3 have upside.
It's interesting. So I think if you do captain Josh Allen, and I want to get your perspective on this, do you think if you only played him with 1 pass catcher, that would be different?
I'm not going back to the well with this one.
No, but I'm asking you, do you think it would be different, A?
I think it would be different, yeah.
Okay. And
anytime a quarterback with only 1 person, I think
so different. Just stick with me for a second. So if you play Josh Allen with 1 pass catcher, we think the game goes under. He rushes for 80 yards. He scores 2 touchdowns on the ground. How is it not plausible? He maybe hits.
If that happens, it's definitely plausible.
But the game ends, like 21-17. How is it not plausible that he's?
I think it's fair too, just based on the weapons, though. When you look at Buffalo, we don't like Diggs that much because of the matchup. Gabe Davis sucked last year.
Oh, our boy Don Easy asked. He asked about Gabe Davis. He said, interest in Gabe Davis.
I mean, he was so bad last year. I always like Gabe because I just like him. I think he's good, but he sucked last year. You got Deontay Harris was so bad he had to change his name. And then you got the tight ends. Like, I can see it. I could definitely see it. And if you only play 1, now you're starting to sell me on it a little bit because I like the idea of just say, for example, Josh Allen, and this could be a captain build. Anyways, let me put it in. So if you play chalky Josh Allen captain, who we both agree Dalton Kincaid, right?
We like the tight, Kincaid, yeah.
So he'll be our only pass catcher, and then all of a sudden Garrett Wilson and Rodgers. So you got both of those, and since we only got 2 Buffalo, let's just pop the kicker in there too, Bass.
Yep.
And that leaves us with 3,500. It puts us right on the other upside guys, Cobb, Hardman. Yep. And then you could even go down to one of the cheaper guys and leave salary, but I really like that. And what if we went a little higher? Like you could put Conklin in there or Dawson Knox and go 2 tight ends, although we were only going with 1 in the rule. But yeah, put Conklin in for the other tight end. You got 2,900. Lots of options, though, is the point. So I do kind of like your thought of 1. Definitely not a rule, though, like the last time. But
no, I'm just saying if you're like hand building a couple teams or you're going to optimize it for a couple
100%.
teams and you're trying to like get it exactly the way you want, I think this is the way of finding unique builds. Just thinking about it, though, like think, okay, how does this game go under? I like the under. How does this game go under? That is definitely one path. There's a lot of running. Josh Allen runs a lot. Maybe Dalvin Cook. Maybe instead of Aaron Rodgers, you put Dalvin Cook in there because the Jets run the football good too. Like think about ways where the game can speed up. The game goes under. Kickers, obviously kickers and defenses for sure. But like then you got like
Dalvin Cook is so dusty.
I mean, he is, but he's behind right now a decent Jet. I think the Jets line will be decent to start until those tackles get hurt. Mekhi Becton, literally give him like 1 half and he'll be hurt. He's already like questionable. I think he's going to play.
I think my 2 fades tonight are the Cook brothers.
You're fading both of them?
Those are my 2 I like the least.
Like completely fading, or are you going to like?
Dude, I played James Cook all last year, and he let me down every single week. I was so high on him all year. He never came through for me. So the CW in the chat, Cook brothers narrative, that's my narrative to fade both of them.
Yeah, they're so pumped for this game, Tony, and then they both just lay eggs. It would be kind of funny if like
I just
they were
don't.
both.
I mean, James Cook is 8K.
It's a
I
lot
just don't see it against that
against a
Jets
good
run D.
defensive. Against a good defense, like yeah, it's a good defense. I get it. I get it.
I do agree
Buffalo's
with
gotten a piece
Logan
of
though.
one.
Like if I had to pick one, I like Dalvin more, even though I think
100%.
he's dusty,
Yeah.
because you could see Rodgers with a veteran. You could see him definitely pushing him more. And then Brees is coming back from injury too, so you could. I like Brees more though for sure because Brees has upside. But if I had to pick one Cook, it would definitely be not James.
Yeah, couldn't you see it though? Dalvin somehow gets him down, and then Bruce just comes in. Dalvin needs a blow, and Bruce just comes in and runs it 15 yards for a touchdown or something like that. Like it'll totally happen that way too, where
Yeah.
Bruce just gets the touchdown, the lucky touchdown run after Dalvin gets him down there. So yeah, I agree with you. Dalvin is a little bit better than James. If I had to rank him, I'd rank Dalvin ahead. So those are little things you can do, though. I don't know what the projections are. I would assume James is ahead of Dalvin, Tony. Just thinking about it.
So running backs, yeah, James is. Hold on, I keep getting stuck on Buffalo. I mean, literally, basically the same projection.
Same. Okay.
I mean, right in the same ballpark.
Michael Carter, Tony. Someone asked Michael
Yeah,
Carter, CW.
I can't do it, but
yeah.
It's Showdown, man. Anything can happen in Showdown. So this is why we love the format. If you somehow had a take that he was going to play a bunch, even Latavius Murray is the third guy on the other side. Who's to say he's not their goal line back and he comes in down there? We've seen this dude score so many touchdowns, and I mean he's 1K. So I don't know. Like I would honestly rather play Carter and Latavius than Dalvin and James Cook.
All right, there
That's
you go.
my hot take.
that is a hot take, I will say. But Tony's right. You haven't really seen these teams play, so you don't really know, who's going to come in and be in the situational
Look at Philly
stuff.
yesterday.
Yep, Philly's a good example. Kyron Williams, who I'm so mad about because we loved him.
Don't
to
get me
start
started
last
on the
year.
Kyron Williams.
And Kyron Williams comes in and looks way better than Cam Akers.
Oh, we had the beat last year. Why did we not come back with it?
Oh, God. I thought about saying something, too, and I was just like, no, it's going to be Cam Akers. They still like him.
They hate Cam Akers. They
liked him at the end of last year, and I just couldn't get it stuck out in my head that they liked him. But Kyron Williams was out, right, Tony?
He was always liked Kyron Williams. They always have. It's so annoying that you forget takes like this.
He looked so good, too. He did. He looked good.
He's always been better, and we just totally spaced it. So annoying.
Yeah. And then, next week, everyone's going to be on him, and he's going to, not get the good run and flop or something like that. It's going to drive me nuts. But
Redmond, I don't even think the dude from Pittsburgh will be active, but that's just me.
I wish he was. That dude's a beast.
He's good for sure. He's got to be better than Michael Carter.
I mean, maybe
they're not going to keep 4 backs active, though. I
don't think so either. The only
if he's active, though, I agree with Red. And Redmond's
if he's active, that means Breece Hall is not getting very much work.
I think he'd be inactive if I don't know. Maybe they do keep 4. I'm definitely not the right person, but freaking Redmond. What's the dude won? 400K the last month. I mean, Redmond in there. If you tell me to play Anaconda, I'm going to play Anaconda for you there, Redmond, because you freaking. The only one that's won more than Rubio in the last 2 months is Redmond.
Nah, Redmond's won a shitload.
Another example to get in the Discord, right? I mean, guys like Redmond in there, just living in the Discord, talking about winners, and he's a freaking member, just absolutely smashing.
Yeah.
Can I get a loan, Redmond? I need a loan.
Get a loan. Could I get a loan? Not after that Cowboys game yesterday. You hit the bill perfectly. You won all the cheese.
I did not win all the cheese.
Need a loan.
Stop.
I mean, geez. I might need Tony to pay for my flight out to Kentucky.
Oh, I will do that. Yeah, I'm in for that for sure.
No, you will not.
I'll do that
I would
today.
never let another man pay for my flights. Are you kidding me?
I'm doing it today. I'm going to there and booking it for you.
Unless I lost my credit card like Tony did that one time. Then I'd let you pay for me. If I lost my stuff,
that would never happen to you.
No, it wouldn't. Because I literally, if you're going to pick my pocket, then my hand is literally just going to grab yours because I'm going to have my hand on my wallet at all times. Whenever I'm anywhere, you'll notice if you're with me, I always have my hands on my wallet at all times. I never like let it go anywhere or anything without like knowing exactly where it is and like actually touching it. That's why I always wear pockets, Tony, too. Like shorts, pants with pockets. I never wear any pants or shorts without pockets. Need pockets, put my hands in there. Got to get that. But yeah, I mean, I think we talked about everything. I mean,
let's look. We always forget FanDuel. I mean, just you can.
Oh, yeah,
this guy freaking wins $50K on Thursday night with the Fitvine shirt on, $50K on FanDuel, and he still just totally ignores the site.
Well, I shouldn't even wear this shirt anymore because my buddy got bought out, so he doesn't even own Fitvine anymore. So
it's even more reason to wear it. He's got the cheese from it.
Yeah, he's got the
He
cheese.
should have sent me one more case before he shut it down.
God, it happened. It happened faster than he thought. So, you know,
Johnny Tightwad. Johnny always peels money out. Johnny is not a tightwad.
I'm the opposite. I'm very I'm the guy who at the bar would pay for everyone a round of drinks for everyone. Like I'm definitely the opposite.
Johnny has definitely helped me lots of times.
I grab the dinner bill whenever. I won't even tell people to. Tony hates it when I do stuff like that. My father-in-law hates it too. I like do it to him sometimes. I'll pull the trick.
You're the guy that sneaks off from the table and just pays.
No, the secret
shows up early to the restaurant to give the credit card.
Now, this is the secret. Right when you sit down, you say, "I got to go to the bathroom," and when you go to the bathroom, right after that,
I'm gonna beat you
or the guy brings you drinks. This is the secret. So you know who your waitress or waiter is. You go up to them as you're going to the bathroom and say, "Hey, just so you know, when the check comes out, give it to me." And they know, and you can give them your card then and there if you don't even want to worry about it.
So
see, that's the trick right there. That's the veteran.
I know your trick though.
Definitely not a tightwad though. But yeah, I do keep my wallet. I'll never lose my wallet ever, unless I like get my ass kicked and then they just take it. That'd be the only way you could take my wallet. But
no, he said didn't mean it that way. He meant that no one's getting your wallet. I mean,
definitely, no one's getting my wallet unless they knock me out and take it. That's the only way. So, all right, FanDuel, Tony. Let's look at it here real quick. So I got a question on FanDuel because I made this rule. Do you do any like 4-1 builds on FanDuel? Because honestly, I don't like them on. I don't like doing that as much on FanDuel, but they're probably more unique. How do you go about that?
Yeah, I don't love 4-1s, but then you get games like last night where you need a 4-1. So games like tonight, though, I just can't see it being a blowout either way, really. So I don't want it to be 4-1. I prefer 3-2s. That's just how I would do it tonight. But
Same.
I don't like totally hate it. I hate it more on DK, honestly, these days where 5-1 because you got the extra guy. It makes it even that much more, at least on FanDuel. Like there's times when even the losing team could have a 4-1 just the way it shapes up. So 3-2 would be my answer, though, almost always. So let's look at this pricing.
So Josh Allen's the highest at 7.5. You got Aaron Rodgers at 16. Stephon Diggs at 14.5. Garrett Wilson at 13.5. And then everyone kind of trickles down from there. What do you do with like the MVPs? Because I know you don't like lock guys, but obviously quarterbacks are supremely high owned in this format. So what are you doing if you're trying to get like an edge on FanDuel?
So I've always said it, and to take it back to the example where if you're playing 2 teams or 5 teams, obviously Josh Allen is by far the best play at MVP. Like 1 zillion% he is. But he's going to be 60% owned in the MVP or something like that. So I personally would rather, and let's just use because if you're playing 150, it's easy. You can just play 60, 70%. You can be there with the field, space it down a little. But if you're playing like 5 teams, I honestly think same example. You use 2 or 3 on Josh Allen, and then you get a little creative because the good part about FanDuel is just say you want to play, just say James Cook, or you like James Cook, or you like Damian Harris, or some of these guys that can vulture touchdowns. You pop Damian Harris in that MVP or James Cook, and they somehow get 2 or 3 touchdowns, all vultured from Josh Allen. it's a path. And another path that people always think you need the highest scoring guy in the MVP. Yeah, most of the time you do, because there's not a difference, but there is the case where the mid-range all gets like 14 points, and the like cheaper guys to get Josh Allen and these guys in don't hit, and where Josh Allen scores like 20, and it's just not good enough because of the build where Gabe Davis scores and Breece Hall scores and the kickers do good and Lazard scores and all these mid-range guys do good. So in short, obviously Josh Allen's the best play. Aaron Rodgers is the second best play, just the way it sets up. But you don't have to do it. And I like Garrett Wilson a ton. I mean, he's not going to be that high owned. He will get some ownership, 15% or something in the MVP, I bet. But don't be afraid to throw some flyers too. We talked about Captain and Kincaid on the other one. Don't be afraid. Like, it's $9 tonight on FanDuel, and it's what's first place?
$200K.
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 $200K, and it says $40K first TD bonus, which I'm assuming is MVP.
Yeah, I would assume that's the MVP. So if your guy
someone in chat, tell me if I'm wrong on that, because I'm sure someone in chat knows. But
I think
so. Just say that's the case. You have even more incentive to play a guy like Dalton Kincaid in the MVP, because if he catches that first touchdown, you're chopping $40K with what, 1%?
1.2%, something like that. Whatever that number is, that comes out.
Correct. And if he somehow hits the whole thing and scores 2 touchdowns, then all of a sudden you got a chance at $200K off your $9. And let's be honest, if you're sitting at home tonight watching Monday Night Football and you can call bet 50 or 100 with the bookie, that's what the standard guy loves to do that. Like, that's fun. Why not just put $50, put it in entries into this thing, and give yourself $200K in upside? If you bet $50 on the game, the most you can leave with is $100 or something. You put 50 in these entries, and somehow, and think how fun that'll be too. You're watching with your buddies, you're at the sports bar, you're at their house. Dalton Kincaid catches 3 touchdowns tonight. You're gonna have your pants off, freaking caressing yourself to the winner's circle because of how good it's. There's nothing better than having that unique team to ship all that cheese.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Tony. For Kincaid, so like kind of the key with that is though, like you need Kincaid to catch 2 touchdowns, but you need Josh Allen to only throw 2 touchdowns to Kincaid. Kind of is what you're rooting for, which could happen. Right,
you're still going to have Josh Allen more than likely, but
in the util, yeah, sort of the flex, whatever you want to call it. So, but my point is, like,
different construction.
You don't want him doing much else because he's so highly owned that like one of the Josh Allen teams with Kincaid in the flex could still catch you. So that's the thing. But if you hit it right, you get that bonus, and it's somehow a really low scoring game, and there's only 2 touchdowns on the Bills side. You're right there to ship, and you're only trying to fight. What, 1% of teams with Kincaid?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you're fighting against nobody. That's the good part about like a Dalton Kincaid MVP is you don't have to like fade anything else. You can just play what you want. I mean, let's just look real quick. If you play Dalton Kincaid,
the problem is I hate the running backs, and I think the other way you root against quarterbacks is the easiest way is with running backs, obviously. But I don't love the running backs in either spot. But like that is one way to root against Josh Allen. Clearly, is to hope it's
definitely
rushing touchdowns.
And especially with that MVP might be even better to put like Damian Harris. But the good thing is with this build, I mean, you could put Garrett Wilson in there. You still got $11K for your last 2 spots, even with Josh Allen. So I mean, there's tons of options. This is why Showdown's the best. Showdown's great because you can be a little chop. You can be an intern if you win $200K tonight.
Just throwing out it. See, Boss T can do whatever he wants. He just throws out internships. He can do anything he wants. That's what happens when you're the boss or the president. The boss and the president, they can do whatever they want.
Jay says this, so this would make sense. Whoever scores regardless of MVP. So that narrows it down a little more, obviously, because I mean Dalton Kincaid will be high, but you never know.
Stupid.
It does.
Why wouldn't it be the MVP?
You would think it would be, but it makes sense that it's not. I mean, I can freaking look it up real quick.
No, I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, so it's not. It says it at the top. It says if you roster the player who scores the first receiving or rushing touchdown. So has to be receiving or rushing.
Because that'd be different, because then I think way more people would, Tony, be different at that MVP spot. Like
Yeah.
for the bonus. Like if it was, like I think you'd see more people.
It would make
Oh,
sense
Damian
for
Harris
sure.
catches the goal line touchdown, and he's, I'm splitting with 1%. Like,
It still does make sense to take some flyers, and it works with the build anyway. So let's totally shift and talk about that strategy just for a second. Like,
yeah,
say Josh Allen is the best. You could, in theory, just play him on everything, and then play Garrett Wilson, play Rod, play really consistent up top with the best plays. So you got a massive floor, massive ceiling, and then just take some weird stabs in that last spot where, who knows, let's go way down here. A Shakir,
I mean,
a
if
Rucker.
Latavius Murray is the guy, Tony,
Latavius, he could definitely get goal line work, like without a doubt. He absolutely could.
Trent Sherfield's in the receiver room, I think,
Trent
for Buffalo. He actually caught a few touchdowns. He was with San Francisco, right? Trent Sherfield?
He's in Arizona, I think.
Was it Arizona? Okay.
Yeah. I think he's played for both, I think. I don't know. He's been around for a minute, though, and it just makes too much sense.
Yeah, CJ Uzoma, another guy. I mean,
that's our guy that's going to get it done for us tonight.
He
actually fits.
He
actually fits hold on a second. The build perfect that we were talking about. We can give a full team on FanDuel. They've never had that rule. And this will be like the show build that makes a lot of sense to me. Uzama captain, our MVP, Josh Allen, and then Rodgers, Wilson, Uzama. Like, that is a somewhat unique build that uses all the good guys and the salary, 2 tight ends in there, both quarterbacks, and the stud receiver.
That's who it was, Jordan. He was with Miami last year. That's who it was. I knew I remembered him from somewhere.
Yeah.
You're right.
He's been around for a while. I'm almost positive he played in those other teams too, right?
He might have. Last year it was definitely Miami.
I know he played for Arizona for sure too. I think he played for San Fran. I think he played for all 3. Cobb too.
Yep. Yeah, Cobb's another guy. I like the idea, though, Tony, having that one guy. Like, you don't need to have a ton, just like that one guy in your lineup. Whoever
and it works with the build on top of it, because you're playing the good guys anyway, so you're not really risking that much. It gets us off those running backs too a little bit, because the running backs on FanDuel are $12K, $11K, $12,500, and $9,500. So none of them are cheap.
I mean, the Bills did play some with that fullback too. What was his name? I think they list him at tight end. Reggie Gilliam. I remember I called his one touchdown last year. Exactly how it happened. So, again, this is just a formation thing. I don't think they're going to have success running, but maybe they try to. I don't know. And if they do, they're going to put that fullback in a little bit, because they had success
too.
They had success when they ran it too, and so he randomly gets out in the flat.
He gets high leverage spots too, though, when they're around that goal line.
He does, because he's in there.
He could get that if you hit the 40K with him. You might get, I don't know, a couple $100 from it.
I mean, he's not going to be owned, Tony. He's going to be like
even like 1% though. What is that?
I don't even think he'll be 1%.
I mean, you got 132,000 people in it though, so even if he's a 0.5%, that's still.
What's he projected? Is he even projected? He's got
a projection. I mean, just say he's 1% owned. I mean,
okay.
You're talking again. We're not the freaking algo people here, but 132,000 people.
We need stats on here. We need the numbers guy on here. We need to get stats.
1320 divided by 40K. Oh, I did it wrong. 40K divided by 1320. You're talking like that's only $30 each. Is that right? Is that right, maybe, Chad? Am I that bad with math?
If that's right, then maybe it's not.
Somebody give me an answer in chat.
It might not be worth it to do.
If he's 1% owned, I want to see this math though, just because it's going to be interesting. If someone's 1% owned tonight, 132K people, how much of the 40K do they get? I need a number because I'm too stupid. That is right, $30. That's it. So you get nothing. What's the point then? That can't be right, is it?
I don't know what the point is then. There's no point in this. We just did all that conversation and there's no point.
$30? What? So if it's like Josh Allen, what do you lose money? Do we have to pay $30 or something? There's too many people.
That's what's going to happen too. It's going to be Josh Allen and no one's going to win. Everyone's getting a 50
I can't. This is disheartening here. We put a lot of thought into that for no reason.
Yeah, Sheets is right. The point is that FanDuel sucks. I'm with Sheets. FanDuel sucks.
If you play Josh Allen, you owe them money.
Speaking of Sheets, is this Sheets from the MMA chat? This dude.
I don't think that's him. Is that you, Sheets? I don't think that's him.
Okay. I was going to say that dude.
That Sheets though, absolutely. We talked about Redmond. Sheets has shipped MMA like 5 times in the last 2 months.
Yeah, crazy.
It is you, Sheets. Really Let's go, Sheets.
I mean, this dude, he ships MMA. I saw he shipped a baseball slate too. He's really friggin' good.
Sheets is good.
And he's in our Discord. Again, it's just the community. We have really good, sharp members, guys that play DFS that just want to be around other sharp people, and guys like Sheets who win on their own. That he's definitely a profitable player. He wins a lot of money, but it's just the community that wants to be around sharp guys. He's a really sharp guy. This is what you get when you sign up. It's not just us, it's other really sharp members that you can talk with, that they're actually in the Discord. You can ask questions. You can talk back and forth with us, with them, whoever you want. And it's for all sports. It's one price. You get in there, you use NFL 17. That's the promo. You get 17% for life. And you get to be around all these guys talking sports all throughout the day. And ladies. I don't want to just forget about the ladies. We love the ladies too. Any of the ladies in there, you can talk with them. So that's the best part of Run Pure Sports, by far, Discord.
So Tyler says, how do you recommend a new member to consume the content properly? So much it can be tough to figure out. I agree. That's why I gave the speech to beginning. Like the way I do it myself. Like I said, today at 11, there was the SaberSim show, then the Cash show at 1:30, then this at 2, and then later tonight at 7, JBC and Wiley and a couple other people will pop on there, talk about it. So for me personally, I like to listen to it all, soak it in. I like to look at projections like on the site, look at the cores. I like to consume everything. You're in the Discord and then make my own decisions. I'm not going to base anything on anyone except myself, so that when I win or when I lose, I have no one to blame but myself. And do I fall under the trap sometimes of doing it? Absolutely. And JSU can attest from talking to me on the phone. Nothing pisses me off more than going with someone else's take against my own take and then losing because of it. You have to form your own stuff and go down with it. But
this is the
based
thing.
on everything else.
This is the thing. And Tony always says, when he says I'm too damn stubborn, this is the problem with me, is I'll never fall into this trap of letting someone totally just swap my opinion. Because in the end, nothing kills you more than your gut feeling on something and you go away from your gut. You don't know how many times I've talked to people, my own family members. They tell me something, blah, blah, blah. I love this. And then at the end of the night, that happens. They don't play it and they call me up crying. And they're so mad, not like actually, they're so angry at themselves. And I've had friends do it. I mean, Tony's done it. Tony's done it to the point where I've always said to myself, I'll never let this happen to me, because that by far is the worst feeling ever. I'd rather lose and be wrong than literally just completely flip my position just off of one thing or something like that and go away from my gut. Now, something could change it throughout the day based on facts and people giving good information.
Based on all the content, you can form a different structure.
Exactly. That's different. But I will just never just completely, someone said this, and I'll just let it flip my whole position.
The key is once that lineup lock hits, all the content's in. When it hits, you say to yourself, every decision was my own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I formed it all, but because everyone's natural reaction. You know how many friends I have like this and family? Oh, Big T got me on this game. Big T got me on and it's always with the loss. But then when you give them the good play and the win, it's crickets. You just hear nothing from the good plays. So, it's your decision once it gets to that point.
Bro, this is the whole family, my brothers,
Everybody's whole
everyone.
family.
When they pick a winner,
It's always
nothing.
theirs.
You get nothing.
Yeah.
It was their plays, and
Every time.
they'll even tell it to you too. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, that was my play. Whatever.
It's the best when
Okay.
they say, "Oh, I already had that one."
When they lose, though, it's all your fault.
Always.
All your fault. My brother did this. He was in the NFL final like 3 years ago, and he did this to me, but to a T. He won it with my plays, right? Like he won it like with my advice to get in. Didn't give me the credit. It was fine, whatever. Gave me like backhanded credit because he's my brother, so he likes to just give me shit sometimes. But then he gets there and he loses, and of course, and then it's my fault. You know what I mean? It's my fault. It was my plays, and I'm just like, wait, so I don't get any of the credit when you win, but then I get all the blame when you lose.
What is that? How did anything in this conversation that we just had? Me and you people are so. What have we said that's been arrogant? We haven't said anything that's been arrogant. If
We're
anything,
giving
we've
you
talked to other
actual.
people.
This is actual stuff that's happened.
How about
I don't even
those
understand.
Broncos? What does that mean?
Yeah, what I don't even
I'm
understand.
legitimately like, what is this dude talking about? We haven't even
Swoop
victory lapped
needs
anything.
to sign out and then sign back in. He needs to try again. You need to try again, buddy.
If anything, all we've done is talked up everybody else. What is happening?
Yeah.
We're full of ourselves.
Just the troll, just getting in here.
What? We're on an hour and a half of a free show right here, breaking down the slate.
I agree.
An hour and a half show though, where we haven't talked about ourselves at all. What? How are we full of ourselves?
Yeah, this is what happens when you're someone like one person out of like 465 people watching this show right now, and it's got to ruin it for everyone saying something stupid like that. Like, don't be that guy.
All we've done is go on and have a good time and talk about the other. I mean, I don't. Believe me, I've deserved criticism at times for this last hour and a half. If you think we were full of ourselves, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, this is a tough scene for Swoop. It's so tough that he clamped right down. He quieted right down. It's too tough for him. So hopefully he signed out and signed back in
for an hour and a half for free and talked about other stuff.
Thank you, sir. Sauce, we appreciate you. Sauce God. I like that name. All right. I wonder if he's a sauce guy, Tony. You think it's a sauce night?
I like sauce.
Yeah, I like sauce too.
You gonna get a pick six?
I mean, we're kind of lower on the defenses, Tony. I don't know if we want to pick six, but maybe like a pick and then a celebration after.
I like that.
I'll take that. So clamp down on Diggs for us. I'll be happy with that. Just
that's definitely our show take. We're definitely way lower on Diggs.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the bigger like stands.
So come make fun of us tomorrow, Swoop, when Diggs goes off.
Exactly. When Diggs has 30 and he's the captain winner, you can come back and make fun of us. But all right, Tony, I hope people enjoyed the show. We went about an hour and 40 long, so we'll try next time to not talk ourselves up as much and try our best. But until then, guys, we hope you enjoyed this show. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel. Use promo code NFL17. Get 17% off for life. Join us over at Run Pure Sports. Get in the Discord. For Big T, I'm JSU. Stay tuned for the Up to Lock show, 7 p.m. Eastern time. JBC and Wiley will take you guys all the way up to lock. We're out of here. Deuces.